back?
We're so back.
All right, cool. So welcome to Studio 2. I'm Jimmy. Over there we have Owen, and next to me today we have Andrew Sampford.
Hello.
Hi, Andrew. How you going?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
So Andrew is a musician and composer, correct?
Correct.
Who has, well, you've fingered a few pies in the music industry over the years, I dare say.
I've just filled so many pies with so many fingers.
So about the moment you're, let's say, how I met you and how I know you well is through your role as the musical director at Options Theatre.
That's exactly right. Options Theatre Company. I'm the musical director and production manager there, which is really cool. They're a non-for-profit disability organisation, and we basically put on shows with people with various intellectual and physical disabilities, which is really great. Theatre's such a great outlet for people, and so it's really lovely to see the different ways that different people approach that art form. People's brains work in all sorts of different ways, and I've actually learned quite a lot working there.
Yeah.
In terms of how to approach teaching other people how to do theatre or music or what have you.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool job.
And inside Options, it's not just performance-based, is it? I mean, they learn pretty much the entire process of putting on a show, or?
Yeah. So we do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. So we divide it into days. Tuesday's dance day, Friday's the big show day, Thursday's more targeted acting day, Monday we do all sorts of behind-the-scenes stuff, and Wednesdays are all-purpose come and get involved, like the beginners day. So there's all sorts of different things that we do there, and it's a really cool place to work.
Yeah. So we had Jason on a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about working in an audio desk for theatre and how it was much different to a rock band. Do you guys touch on all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we do. We're yet to sort of do that with any of the sort of program participants, but we do that. I actually worked at the Hayes Theatre for a while doing audio tech as well. Yeah. So I've had a little bit of experience myself in twiddling knobs and pushing faders and all that sort of malarkey.
It's just a series of volume knobs, is it not? So I've been told. These audio desks.
Yeah, why not? We'll go with that.
Just silently panicking about wireless mic packs.
Yeah,
that's I think, and I think you'd agree. I think 90% of audio work is panicking about the wireless system.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I work in a studio, because everything's wired.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's the amount of times everything's been going beautifully and just suddenly a mic goes down. And what do you do? At the Hayes, we didn't have any dedicated mic techs there either, so it was just panic stations. Somebody would have to go, a stage manager who had no idea what they were doing would have to go down and do their very best.
Turn it off and back on again?
Absolute chaos. And I'm super happy to be out of that game.
Said you've been around, and what other areas of the music industry have you worked in over the years?
Well, I've done a lot of screen composition.
Yep.
So I've worked on a couple of TV shows you might have heard of, and a few that you probably haven't. One that's screening at the moment called I Was Actually There, which is actually, I think the first episode of the new season is coming up tonight.
Oh, cool.
So tonight being Tuesday, I don't want to date your episode for you. But
that's fine. We've dated a few times ourselves already, I think.
There we go. Whatever the date is, the 7th of whatever month we're in, October. Here we are. Hello, everyone. I know where I am and what I'm doing. So that's I Was Actually There, which is just a documentary series for the ABC that basically features first-hand accounts of famous events from history.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a really great show. You should watch it.
Yeah.
Check it out. I did the music for it. And the most famous one being You Can't Ask That, we've had about 7 seasons of that, and I was there from about season 2 on You Can't Ask That.
Yeah, I remember that's I was sitting there watching it one day, and at the end your name just popped up, and I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
It's me. Hi.
That's that guy.
But I've also worked on a bunch of shows that you probably haven't heard of. There was an old comedy series for I can't even remember which network it was for. 10. I don't know, called Plonk, with which was basically a show about people touring wineries. I can't remember most of it, but that was a great show. I actually, you'll never hear it. There's a song that I wrote for it. I'm just going to launch into a story if you'll allow me. They had John Farnham's "Playing to Win," as one of the songs in the show, and it was a really great moment in the show. And they went to license it for, Qantas bought it, which is a really weird thing. Qantas purchased this show. They purchased the show to play as part of their in-flight entertainment.
Yeah.
And then they found out that they didn't have the rights. They didn't have international rights for Playing to Win, and the Qantas version technically counted as an international performance because it was going on international flights. So they'd be not in Australia while it aired. So I had to write a parody version of Playing to Win, like write and record the parody version of Playing to Win in about 45 minutes because they needed it sort of ASAP. And it's one of the silliest things I think I've ever written. I'll send it to you at some point.
Please do. Is it the silliest thing you're proud of, or the silliest things?
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of it. It's a banger of a tune. You can hear distinctly. It needed to be in time with Playing to Win because they'd edited to the beats. So it's unashamedly a Playing to Win knockoff with the trumpet hits exactly as they should be. Yeah. But yeah, it was a fun little thing to put together.
And as that was for Plonk.
That was for Plonk.
Yeah. Did you make it vineyard themed parody?
It's not vineyard themed. I think that I'm really. This is probably about 15 years ago now, so I'm really having to stretch back my my memory. I'm pretty sure the song was called "Be the Man."
Nice.
So instead of Playing to Win, you're gonna, really man up and be the man.
For sure.
Which is how I often speak to people. It's really. I really lean into performative masculinity. It's a really fun moment in the show, and I think this is very egotistical, but I think I slightly prefer my version to John Farnham. I know. I'm calling it here. I'm better than John Farnham, and you can quote me on that.
In the context of being on a Qantas flight as well, it's fucking taking Johnny Farnham on.
Yeah,
taking the bull by the horns.
That's
right
it.
There.
It's just specifically when it comes to Qantas in-flight entertainment. I think I've got Johnny Farnham pegged.
You got him pegged. Nice. So how did you fall into writing for TV shows and films and whatnot?
So let's have you got like a little harp sample?
Yeah, for sure. Like a trip back through memory lane.
Trip back through memory lane. One of my earliest memories, and it's actually I was probably old, which is probably a terrible reflection on my memory. I think I was 8 or 7 or something, but I remember going along with my mother to like a school band concert. I think my sister was playing flute in the school band. And I looked at one of the kids playing clarinet and I was like, that kid's cool. Don't laugh. Don't mock me there.
Just the clarinet specifically is pretty good.
To any clarinet players out there listening in, don't let that be a reflection on you. You're cool.
You are.
I think you're cool.
Yeah, that's... So do you also have an affinity for Squidward from SpongeBob then? He's a big clarinet.
Oh, I didn't know that. I do now.
Yeah, next time you watch an episode of SpongeBob, keep your eye out.
I'm going to have to. I'll have to watch my first episode of SpongeBob, but I'll get in there if there's some clarinet featured.
Plenty of clarinet.
Count me in. But yeah, so I went along to this concert and I saw the clarinet player and I was like, that kid's cool. That guy's cool, and I want to be that guy in the concert band. Gosford concert band or whatever it was. Very cool. So Mum bought me a second-hand clarinet for Christmas or for my birthday, and I started taking lessons and soon realised that I wasn't a clarinet player. I still can play it, but not particularly well. And then I switched over to piano. My mum's a pianist and has always been a pianist. She's very good, much better at sight reading than I am. And Dad's a guitarist, and I think the piano kind of appealed to me. And it's going to sound very silly, but just being able to do lots of different notes at once. I think I like chords. Yep. I like harmony, and that's always been a bit of a draw to me. So I switched over to piano and kind of never looked back. Picked up a bit of guitar in Dad's honour as well, but I'm only a mediocre guitarist at best. Yeah. I jack of all trades, master of none. I try and play a bunch of different instruments moderately well and usually fail. But piano really stuck with me. So that's been the instrument that I've kind of carried forward with my writing, and it's where I start whenever I'm writing something. I'll start with a piano and map out what I'm doing, and then orchestrate or synthestrate or whatever you would have.
Substrate it if you need to.
Substrate. But anyway, that passion sort of caught on very early, and I always was a big fan of film scores as well. Like all of your classic film scores. I've got a vinyl copy of the E.T. soundtrack. Beautiful soundtrack. All the classic John Williams and what have you. And I grew up listening to a lot of classical music, so all of your Holsts and... you listen to Holst and then you watch Star Wars and you're like, oh, yeah, it's the music that's doing all the work here. You take the music away and this is just a bunch of people on a cheap set doing their best. And I like that. And I think a part of it's ego, if I'm being perfectly honest about it, is I like behind the scenes work, and I like the recognition of like, I just sort of push that over the line. There we go. Yep. So I like film scoring as a...
The music makes it kind of deal.
The music's like the final touch that makes something what it is. And I think that always appealed to me. So yeah, I started film scoring just for a friend of mine, and I'll name him, Nick McDougall, who none of you probably know. It's a name that means nothing to you, but he'll come up later. Hold that name. Okay. So we started making just really bad short films and entering short film festivals, and they were terrible. Some of them were all right, but we're a bunch of kids going out and making movies and trying to be Spielberg and falling short by a few kilometres. Yeah. But it was fun. We had a lot of fun doing it, and then we started entering sort of film festivals and what have you, and we won a couple of film festivals. Our films were considered best in a field of, these are local. So Newcastle, there was one called, I've forgotten the name of it. The Shootout. It was the idea was you made a film in 24 hours, and so we did that, and we stayed up for 24 hours and made a movie as quickly as we could. The film was called Tranquility. I remember that. Okay. And we ended up winning that one. Which was great, and just sort of that passion just grew and grew as I kept making films with my mates, effectively. Then Nick McDougall, who again is the name that we must remember, wound up getting picked up. He auditioned for and wound up getting picked up for Andrew Denton's Hungry Beast. Yep. Does everyone remember that show? Yes, I do. So he was one of the people that got picked up for Hungry Beast. And he's gone on to be a very, very successful editor. So he edits a lot of the shows that you'd be watching on TV. And he just dropped my name one day as they were looking for someone to write some music. And this was for Plonk. The director of that, Nathan Earl, was looking for someone to write some original music for it. And Nick said, oh, well, I've worked with this guy for 4. He's never done anything. But he won the Newcastle Shootout for what that's worth.
Sign him up.
They took a gamble on me, and yeah, since then I've picked up just job after job. I've never really hunted for them, but I just found myself getting a phone call and, oh, hey, we're just looking for someone to do some music for this, and your name came up. And that's sort of how I fell into film scoring. But in amongst all of that, this is a waffly story. Do you want to keep going? Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. No, you need them.
In amongst all of that, I sort of had a bit of a down period. This all kind of happened in my mid to late 20s. So I finished up at school and I went to a performing arts high school, went to Newtown High School of the Performing Arts, and really had a lot of ambitions, and I was kind of a bit no good at school. Okay. I was very good at the exams, did really well at the exams, absolutely hopeless at getting assessment tasks in on time. It was a real motivation problem for me. So I managed to scrape through the HSC on my...
talent alone.
On my exam marks. And honestly, because I had a really good music teacher, and we're calling people out. Chris Howes was my music teacher, and he sneakily fudged a lot of my application dates for my assessment tasks for the HSC, which not all of my teachers did, but he really looked after me. He sort of said, look, you didn't get this on time.
And it's done.
So get it done. I'm going to pretend that you did get it on time, but you need to get it done.
Yep.
So he really looked after me in that regard, and he's another one of the reasons that I think I wound up really doing music as a career, because he looked after me, and my passion for music under him grew. Like having such a great teacher who was willing to take a couple of risks and lie about when I got all my assessment tasks in.
Get you there. Do you do that, Owen? Do you let people off on assessment tasks if they're needed?
I don't have that power.
You don't have that
Thank
power?
God.
No?
Yeah, that's not up to me. But I had a music teacher who was important in my career pathway as well. Yeah, Damien Clift was his name, and he was great. He studied audio engineering before he became a music teacher, and he was like, you should go and study audio engineering. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. And he was fucking great. Yeah, he was definitely instrumental in my career path, I'd say, for sure.
Nice use of instrumental.
Thanks.
That's really good.
So when you left Newtown Performing Arts School, did you have dreams of being a big rock and roll star? Or were you always moving towards maybe the engineering side of music?
So I'm a nerd. I grew up doing amateur theatre. Productions of Oklahoma, where I played Judd Fry, that sort of cool thing, and this really cool character that I'm doing, and blah blah blah. Yeah, so I don't think I ever had any rock star ambitions, but excellent segue into where I was about to go with the grand old story of my musical life. I left school, Newtown, and because I didn't get a particularly good HSC result, I think I scraped by, again, thanks to the kindness of Mr. Chris Howes. Just managed to scrape by and get a passing mark, but no university'd have me. No university'd have me. So I just kind of moved back, home. I was living briefly in Sydney while I went to school at Newtown. And I moved back home and just lived with my parents for a couple of years, like all cool people do. Yeah. And again, grateful that I have wonderful parents who were willing to take me back and let me sort of
figure out
mooch. Let's call it mooching. Really mooch off of their kindness. And I think they were just waiting for me to announce that I was going to go and get a real job, but I still had this kind of musical ambition. And through this time, I was still doing sort of these amateur performances at the local theatre society, Gosford Musical Society, and so I met a lot of people doing that. But one person who I met, who again will come up, and you know this person, was Stuart Smith.
Stu, yep.
And this is sort of my last year of school, or second last year of school. He was doing a production called Paris with John English. For those of you who don't know John English, he's unfortunately passed now, but he's at the time we were doing this production of Paris, was an aged rocker, was sort of the original Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar in Australia, and has a whole bunch of hits. And
I remember John English for sure, yeah, but some of the young kids listening may not.
Yeah, so you ask your mum who John English is.
She'll know.
She'll know who John English is. Oh, black eyes. But so Stu was working on this production of Paris, and I sort of met him and sort of developed a little bit of a friendship. But I was a bit younger than him, so I was just like I think at the time, like 17-year-old being like, "Oh, hi Stu, will you be my friend?" And he was like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, piss off." But I went along and auditioned and got into this show as just an ensemble member of the first run that they did of Paris, and which I should say was being directed by Daryl Kirkness, not Stuart, but Stu's the main focus of the story. And then years later, so this is when I'm out of school and mooching off my parents, they decide to do another production of Paris. They decide to do it again. And David Spicer, who owns the rights to the show, wanted to produce a production with John English in it this time.
Okay, yeah.
So the original one we did was just... it was the world premiere of Paris, but it was just a bunch of us Gosfordians, whatever as we would call ourselves. Whereas this version had John was going to come and play Menelaus in his own musical, his own opera, I should say, rock opera. And so that was exciting, and Stu asked me to come and do it again. I'm like, absolutely, great. And I wound up underscoring John in that production. So during rehearsals, I was playing his part, and then he just turned up at the end and slotted himself into the show.
Took all the glory.
Took all the glory, and I never got to play the role on stage, and I played the much coveted role of the fisherman. Fuck yeah. Everyone loves the fisherman.
Everyone loves the fisherman.
Yeah, he's the guy that finds, if you know your Greek mythology, finds Paris washed ashore, and then he's like, well, on you go. Big role. So anyway, I played the role of the fisherman. I got a beautiful song, so I can't complain too much, but I will. But so we sort of met John, and we also met a young guy who I'd met a few times called Isaac Hayward, who is a very talented musician who is now he's living in New York, and he's a Broadway musical director and has done work for Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he's gone on to be incredibly successful. Very talented guy. Very good friend of mine. And we met him there as well. So we're doing this production of Paris, and during it, Stu has met Isaac and just sees that he's this like prodigious musician. And we all start to say, like, what can we do? What can we do with the collection of us? And we have a few other people we know. Let's drop some names. Do you know Paul? You'd know Paul Toole.
I know Paul Toole.
You know Paul Toole. He's a local musician. So he was
his daughter's in Little Quirks.
Little
correct?
Quirks, who have gone on to be huge. So Paul was one of our friends we knew. Isaac knew a woman called Natalia Bing, and Tulare Webster and Sean Tarring, all of these wonderful people that we had, all these wonderful musicians who you've all probably never heard of because, again, ask your mum. But so we knew all these people, and we said, what can we do? And the idea sort of started as Sell Out the musical. You know, let's give the people what they want. What do people want? Baby boomers want to listen to 60s and 70s rock music.
Yep.
And the idea was that we'd attach John, because we knew John now, and we knew John English, and he's a name, so we'd attach him, and all he had to do was we'd wheel him out, and he'd do a bit of narration, and then we'd go and play these rock songs for everyone. And at the same time, a guy called Patrick Corrigan, who again has also passed, unfortunately now, was opening the new Nowra Entertainment Centre.
Yep.
I can't remember if it's actually an entertainment centre, but it's this beautiful theatre in Nowra. And he was the manager of it, and he said, we need you to do something for our opening. Can you guys come and do some kind of performance? And we said, yeah, sure. So we put together this rock show, which was a very theatrical sort of journey through the classics of the 60s and 70s, and we pitched it to John and said, hey, would you like to be in it? And his response was, yeah, I'll be in it, but I don't want to just do these narration bits. I want to come and sing and be part of it. And so that's how the show was launched, and that first opening at Nowra was so successful we ended up just sort of touring it around the country I was with it for the next 5 years of my life.
Oh, wow.
So, which was great, and that's a show that we all created. Stu and Isaac were kind of the director and musical director. But we all got to sort of create this thing and then tour it around with John, who was a fantastic guy, like absolute legend, who sort of gave us that opportunity as well. So I was really lucky in that regard. And I met a lot of really wonderful people sort of doing it who I'm still in touch with. Amy V, a very talented...
I know who that is.
Amy V, a very talented musician from Newcastle. Wasn't in the original cast, but she joined us sort of a couple of years in. And I gig with her still to this day sometimes.
Oh, cool.
I don't gig very much these days, but I'll turn up and sort of play a song or two with her. But yeah, we really lucked into it. It was right place, right time, right people. Absolute luck. But I will say, touring with John English was the turning point where my parents finally stopped wondering when I was going to get a real job. Because my parents would play John English records when I was growing up. So I was like, oh yeah, just touring with this. I know, oh, yeah, another music gig. When are you going to be an accountant? And I'm like, oh no, it's John English. And they're like, oh great, we'll support that. And so I had these two things running at the sort of same time. I had your scoring work running. I had the rock show touring, and I wasn't making very much money, as musicians tend not to, unfortunately. Yep. And then while I was doing that, Stu had been working at Options. So he'd been working there for years, just working on their end of year show, because he's a sort of known on the coast as a fairly good director, and they would have him come in and help them with their end of year shows. And so he wound up getting a job there. And then the guy who was running, they had a program which was just a sort of radio podcast-esque program, quit on the spot and decided not to come into work. And I get a call from Stu saying, hey, you know how to use microphones and consoles and, audio interfaces and all that malarkey. I'm like, yeah, I know how to do all that sort of stuff. Can you come and
take over?
Just run this program for a day. And so I came in and ran a program for a day, and I was really good at it. And since then, I've wound up becoming musical director, production manager. That's just gone on, and it's a great source of income that is a very rare thing for people. It's a really great arts job, because there's not a lot of good paying arts jobs out there. And I attribute a lot of it to just dumb luck.
Knowing the right people as well.
Knowing the right people, being in the right place at the right time. I've never done a job interview in my life. I've never done a single job interview.
I don't think I have either, as a tradie, we're very much like that. I know this guy, he needs work, and you turn up, you do a week, and you're there forever.
That's exactly right. And one of the sort of sad things about the music industry is that that's a lot of how it works. Like it really is about getting out there and being in the right place at the right time. You can have all the education in the world, and I will say, and I'm very pro education. Yeah, I'm very pro education. I'm not going to down talk it. I think education, the biggest benefit is not actually what you learn; it's who you meet while you're doing it. Because they're your contacts that you'll take away.
Your network.
Yeah.
100%. No, I get that.
And so I will say that my education probably took place in the amateur musical theatre scene of Gosford, which, in terms of the knowledge you gain, is probably one of the worst educations you can get. But in terms of the people that I've got to meet and was lucky to be meeting, if I'd come through 3 years later, those same people wouldn't have been there. So it's dumb luck. And perseverance. I've worked as well. I'm not going to diminish my work, and I learned how to play piano, and I learned how to play guitar, and I've worked really hard at those skills. But you combine a solid skill base with dumb luck, and that's your music industry for you.
I also think like dumb luck, skill, but then especially in the music industry, being like a normal fucking human being is also a skill set to have, because so many people are either assholes or can't have a conversation with you because they're so up their own ass that it just, like, I've met heaps of people who are totally talented and they're in bands, but I never want to work with their band again because they're the worst people in the world.
That is 100% true, and it's you heard of the 3 T's?
No.
I can't remember what one of them is, so it's a terrible rendition. But
you were hoping he knew the answer, right?
No, I remember what they all are.
Tell me what they are?
It's talent is the first one. Talent is something that you absolutely need in the music industry. The second one is training. Mm-hmm. You need to train. You can be the most talented person in the world, but you need to work. You need to practice your art. Otherwise, it'll get stale. I actually... Small tangent. I'll get to the 3rd T in a second. Mm-hmm. I'm really big on my tangents when I love a tangent.
That's actually the 3rd T. It's a surprise T.
Tangent. The 3rd T is tangent. Well done. So I knew, and I won't name these people, but I knew 2 really talented opera singers when they were young. They were sort of 12-year-old, 13-year-old, but had these beautiful operatic voices. And they were as talented as each other. And one of those 2 got in her own head about how talented she was, and was like, "I'm winning a Stedfords. I'm doing all this sort of stuff. I'm the top dog. I don't need to do anything." And she's not singing anymore. She doesn't sing.
Yeah.
She now has a very respectable job. I couldn't even tell you what it is. Yeah. the other one of those young girls at the time is about to go to Germany to sing opera professionally.
Mad.
With a German company, and the difference is that she detached that sort of ego. She was like, "I'm really, really good, but I want to be better. I want to be as good as I can be."
While we're going on tangents, I have a little theory on perfectionism. A lot of people talk about perfectionism, and I'm a perfectionist and whatnot. And in my head, I don't really think you can achieve perfectionism, because for me, if you want to be perfect and you achieve something as best as you can, do it 100 times and you'll be better again, right? So you can always strive for perfectionism, but I don't think you ever really reach that level ever.
No, you can never stop learning. Perfectionism's a funny one. It's you can always aim for perfect, and you should always aim for perfect, but you will never ever achieve perfect, because there's always something that could be different or better or what have you. You'll never get there. I will briefly go back to the third T, though.
Third T,
Fantastic.
It wasn't tangent.
Can we recap on the first two? Talent.
With that far removed, it's been another 40 minutes, so we need to really readdress what the first two T's were. So it's talent, training, too important. The third one is temperament, and it really hits on what you were saying about you can be the most talented person in the room. If you're a dickhead, nobody's going to work with you. If you let me tell another story. Can I go into another story?
Where it's a podcast, it's all about stories.
Welcome to Story Time with Andrew Sampford.
There's another harp sample there.
Yeah, give me that harp. Give me that damn harp. So this is when I was working as an audio tech, and I was also musical director for a show at the same time. And for the show that I was musical director on, I was in a production meeting with a whole bunch of people, and there were a few things going wrong, and everyone was blaming everyone else, and there were a lot of just sort of egos, myself one of them, just snapping at each other across a room. And nobody was really working together. We were trying to get everything back on track, but nobody was really working together. And it was like a 3.5 hour long production meeting of just people going, well, you didn't do this, well, you didn't do this, and it just felt like such a waste of my time. At the time, I was also the consulting sound supervisor for a show at the Hayes called The Sideshow, and I had to leave that production meeting early to drive down there and get that all done. So I left, and I'm in the car, and this is from Gosford to Sydney, so I'm in the car fuming. I'm like, bloody idiots, fucking this, fucking that. And then I get there, and we're in tech rehearsal, final tech rehearsal for this show. And this is a real story about temperament. The whole sound system completely shut itself down.
Jesus Christ.
Crashed, and we got this noise, and I do apologise. Hopefully you can fix this in post. Through the speakers, as loud as you could possibly hear, we got this.
You do that really well.
Thank you.
You do that really. I'm familiar.
And it's these theatre systems. It's a very complicated rig. You've got your console, which is running into your correction, which is running into your room EQ, which is running into your speakers, like multiple speakers. There's cables everywhere. You've got your wireless packs. You've got like so much is going on. And this is final tech. So this is the time to start turning around and being like, well, you didn't do your fucking job and this and that. And the director, who is a wonderful guy called Richard Carroll, who is now the artistic director at the Hayes Theatre with Victoria Falconer, he calmly turns around to me, and this is full stress moment. He turns around to me and said, very sternly, he was like, what the hell just happened? And my response to him was, I don't know. If you give me 15 minutes, I'll figure it out and we'll be back up and running. Which was my best guess as to how long it would take me to try and find where the problem was.
Yeah.
And it just really struck me as a stark contrast to the meeting I'd just been in. He turns around and says to the cast, take a 20-minute break, go refresh yourselves. We'll be back here in 20 minutes to pick up. And then he just turns around to me and says, is it going to affect you if I keep teching lights while you do this?
Yeah.
And I went, no. And then 10 minutes later, I'd solved the problem. The cast had a 20-minute break and they were refreshed. And we finished the tech, like we finished the run.
Nice.
And it was such a contrast in my brain of these people yelling at each other across a table to something very serious going wrong at a pivotal moment, and just everyone respecting each other, and just nobody throwing their ego around and nobody yelling and nobody screaming. It was just hey, this happens. Stuff goes wrong. Stuff goes wrong in live theatre all the time. I've had to shut down a console midway through a show. And I got away with it too. The audience didn't even notice. But
you have to reboot it or something?
I had to reboot it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't. It's another story. I wasn't running the sound for the show, but another person was running. It was for a production of Rent. Another person was running the console. And she was an inexperienced mixer.
It's my favourite musical, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of my least favourite musicals.
I thought you two were going to be friends.
We'll have to have a fight in. We'll have to have a fight in the car park.
You'll win.
Have to have a fight in the car park after this one.
We'll fight over Rent, especially.
But
if it was Les Mis, maybe, but not Rent.
Yeah. We'll have a different fight about Les Mis. But no. So we're at this. We've got an inexperienced mixer, and I did the first season of Rent for them at the Hayes, so I was there to just kind of help out. And it was opening night. It was the first night of the show, but the sound designer didn't quite trust all of the decisions she was making. And she's gone on to be fantastic, but this was when she was sort of very early and very inexperienced. So he was sending signals. He was mixing on an iPad, because that console lets you make little changes with an iPad. And all of a sudden, my spidey senses tingle, because I know the cues pretty well. They're my cues that I've programmed in from the last time they did it. And I'm like, something's wrong here. My spidey senses tingle. So I'm sitting in the audience. So I just sort of stand up and make my way to the back. And I'm like, what's happening? And she's like, I can't do anything. And this is a terrible design. It was a Soundcraft SI Expression 3 was the console we were working on.
Sure.
And mechanical faders.
Yeah.
And buttons.
Yeah.
And none of them were working. You would move a fader, it wouldn't affect the sound, and then it would just snap back to where it was. The buttons weren't letting you change scenes. Nothing was working. The console was completely locking her out. And we were at the start of, if you're familiar with Rent,
a little bit. I don't know.
It's the song I'll Cover You, but
Sure.
it just starts with just a guitar, like a guitar from on stage, and they've just got the mics. So they've just got two mics on stage and the guitar, and we hadn't gone to those new mics. Fortunately, the cast were professional, so they weren't speaking backstage, but some of them had their mics on. We couldn't change the scene. And we're like, this is not good. We're locked out. And so I turned to her and I'm just like, we shouldn't do this, but worst case, we have to do a show stop and we'll just say something went wrong. And then I just flicked the power button off for the whole sound system. And we heard a little through the speakers. And then I waited 5 seconds, flicked the power back on for the sound system. This is all during the intro. And then there's the boot up period. And
suddenly it sounded like the Halo theme.
They're doing their dialogue, and I'm like watching this progress bar, like, fuck it, come on, hurry up. And then just as we're about to get into the song, the system comes back online, and I quickly switch it over to the correct cue, because luckily again we've got the script in front of us, so I can just be like, that cue, go. And then, live in my house, I'll be your shelter. We get it up in time, and it's the most I've ever felt like James Bond in my life. Like, it's that progress bar. It turns out what had happened is because the sound designer was sending signals to the iPad, the network went down while he was sending a signal. Ugh. So the console had never received the This is really exciting console talk for all you listeners, by the way, at home. The console had never received the end of that signal, so it was waiting to receive the end of the signal that was being sent before it would release control back to the operator, which... Hey, Soundcraft, if you're listening, which I assume you're not, being a British company, never, ever lock a person out of using the console. The person at the desk takes priority. The iPad cannot take priority. Do not let the iPads win.
Do you know the clankers? There's a word for that now. There's a new slang word. I found out, clankers.
Clankers?
Yeah, it's like when AI starts to take over and things are controlled by robots. Those things are clankers. That's I believe how it's used. It's a new word. I'm not experimenting with it as a Gen Z.
You sound cool saying it.
Thanks. Means a lot.
But yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought as to where I was in my musical history. But there's another exciting story from Grandpa's vault.
Well, instead of talking about your musical history, let's talk about your musical future. I know you have a new little, what would you call it? Is it a hobby? Is it a project? Your own little musical society? What's going on there?
Well, let's bloody launch into that. Here we go. My wife, who is the lovely Ruth Tiffin, and she's a fantastic theatre person herself. She works in theatre merchandising. She works for a company called Playbill, which, if you've ever been to a show...
Just a little company called Playbill?
Well, not the Playbill you're thinking. So you're thinking really? Playbill in America.
Yeah, I'm thinking Playbill.
Whereas this is, confusingly, this is Playbill in Australia, who are, in America, platypus.
So not the shoes.
Not shoes.
Not a shoe shop?
Not the shoes. Playbill in America is a different company. But they basically, every show that you've seen in Australia, I shouldn't say every because they do have competitors, but certainly all the main ones you've seen, they do the merchandising. So they make the programs and the novelty cups and what have you. So she does a lot of theatre work. She's got a lot of contacts. And she recently decided that she wanted to start sort of producing shows. There's a bit of a gap in the market on the Central Coast. We've got our amateur theatre society, and shout out to GMS and
God bless GMS.
God bless them. They're doing a good job. They put on shows, and it's a great place for, like, I've got a son, Charlie, and I'll be sending him there to do shows. It's a great place to learn your craft. But if you want to do anything professionally as a sort of theatre musician on the Central Coast, you go to Sydney or you go to Newcastle. So we were sort of looking, and there's a bit of a gap in the market. And so she decided, and this is years back now, I couldn't tell you the exact years, but we're talking pre-COVID times, that we were going to start just doing sort of semi-professional cabarets and shows where we try our best to pay people. We don't always succeed, but we try and do things as a sort of a profit share to get a lot of the talented people who are sort of on the Central Coast
to stay.
Not to stay. There's a lot of people who have, gone on to be teachers and psychologists and accountants and all that whatnot, who are really talented theatre performers, but they don't want to move to Sydney to pursue their art because that lifestyle is not for everyone.
Yep.
And they don't want to be in the sort of amateur musical society. That's not something that appeals to them. So it's kind of a bit of a little sort of halfway point for them to get them to, they can keep their job, they can live on the Central Coast and be happy, but they can also, make a bit of money performing and sort of work in these semi-professional things. So she's done, and I've helped. I give myself some credit, but she's put on a bunch of shows. So we've put on a whole bunch of cabarets, which we've done at various places. We did some at Laycock Street Theatre. We've done some at the Art House. We've done some at Musicians Making a Difference in Gosford. So we've done a fair share of cabarets, and they're always good. They're just sort of small shows that, you don't charge much for your audience, and you just get people in, have a sing, and move on. But we've started sort of branching out into doing more sort of large scale theatre, which is where it gets really hard to pay people. So we haven't had a successful show where we've managed to pay all of our cast yet. So people are volunteering their time still. But we're working towards it. So we're building up, and we really do want to try and create this sort of semi-professional space. Not paying all of your union rates and what have you, but just like, people get compensated for their time. So she put on a production of Into the Woods in the Don Craig Room at Laycock, which was very successful, sold out, and really good. Nice. And I'm not actually a big fan of the show, but I went along and watched it, and I was like, yeah, this is good. This is great. And she has done a production of The Phantom of the Opera.
Nice.
I was lucky enough to see that one, which was absolutely amazing.
That was a really good one. That was directed by Stuart Smith as well.
Helped made the chandelier for that, actually.
Yeah, you did. You helped wire up the chandelier.
Set designer.
Was professional set designer that you are. I built the structure for the chandelier, professional set designer that I am. Absolutely no idea what I'm doing.
Put on your resumes, fellas.
Yeah, we're starting a company after this podcast.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so if you have any sets that you need designed at any point, just...
Only chandeliers, funny enough, so that actually works really well.
Have we got news for you?
We've done one.
We've also just recently a chorus line at Laycock Street Theatre. Which was really, really successful, actually. So, and it's nice. It's nice for me because I actually haven't been I was really involved in Phantom. I haven't been super involved in a lot of these shows. I feel like there was another one that I'm forgetting. Terrible Husband. What's the other show? Heathers, that Ruth directed at the Art House. My brain just lost it for a second. So a production of Heathers at the Art House as well. So we've done a number of successful shows now, and Tick Tick Boom that Ruth heaps of shows. I've forgotten the Art House. For some reason, I've forgotten the Art House ones, which I shouldn't, because the other thing I'm going to segue into is we've actually been writing a show as well, a song cycle that is going to be on in October.
Is this the one that you were telling me about?
Which is now
a year ago or so.
It may very well be. So when I was coming up and doing all this sort of theatre when I was younger, I used to make a habit. The GMS Gospel Musical Society do a performance night for everything where you can go and do whatever. And nerd that I am, I would always go and write a song for what I thought was the least interesting character of the show. So like the policeman that I did one for the policeman that hands him the umbrella in Singing in the Rain.
Yep. Yeah. Nice.
What's his story? He's just like stuck outside and he gives away his umbrella like he's just so depressed that he's like, I don't even need to be in the rain. Just whatever, let the rain pour. Or like Glad Hand from West Side Story, who nobody would know who I'm talking about, but he's the guy that organises the dance at the gym, and all of the Jets and the Sharks are just like, nah, fuck your dance. And he just gets sad and leaves. And I'm like, what's his story? So no...
He doesn't sound very glad.
He's not.
So the anti-protagonist.
Well, sort of, but it's the kind of thesis for the show is that everyone does have a story to tell. Like everyone does have these interesting stories, and I kind of wanted to explore that. So we've written a show called No Small Parts. It's a song cycle. For those who don't know what a song cycle is, instead of being a musical with a story, it's a collection of songs on a theme. Each song is its own kind of self-contained story. Yep. It's really just a wanky way of saying an album, but if you're doing it in a theatre, it's a song cycle. It's a song cycle.
Well, there's my learning for today. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've got so much more information to share. Again, largely about chandelier construction. But so we were lucky enough to get a few grants, council grants again, because Ruth is also a very talented director, but also very talented at getting grants and applying for things and convincing people that what we're doing is interesting. Which,
can write a strongly worded
which, as you can tell from this podcast, is not one of my skills. And so we've been working on that for years now. Absolutely, a long time we've been working on that, and that's going to be staged. It's a workshop performance, so it's not a fully staged, finished version. That's going to be on at the Art House, and Darren Yap, who is a very well-known director in Sydney, is coming to direct it for us, and we're learning it all and putting it on in a week.
Huge.
I already know it because I wrote it, but which is a real leg up for me. But the cast that we've got in are fantastic, and that's going to be on in October, and I can't remember what the dates are. So just, I guess, Google it. Mm-hmm. It'll be. Should I bring it? I'll bring it my calendar.
Let us know.
This might be. I've turned my phone off. So I'm always the consummate professional, but that's really exciting. And again, that's something that we've sort of stumbled into via dumb luck and just sort of pursuing what you're interested in. And again, this is something I've been doing since I was sort of 14. Yep. Just writing these songs, and I'm like, what happens if we sort of explore this as a more fully fleshed out idea? Mm-hmm. Let's do it and see where it leads. And now it's being put on.
So it sounds like you're lucky enough to turn your hobbies into jobs somehow.
Really lucky.
Yep.
Really lucky. It can be done, but you need the right people around you. That's the, people come up to me and they're like, "What's your advice for getting in the music industry?" And I'd say, be as lucky as you can. Yep. Yeah. But also just go out and meet people and go out and play. And the other one, which was a piece of advice that was given to me, is never shy away from being the worst person in the room. Like the least talented person in the room. Go and be bad with people who are better than you. Yep. There was a big thing recently about a lot of shows are using tracks now. And we've done it. Into the Woods use tracks for logistic reasons, but it's really important to us with the shows that we put on that we are using real orchestras, because that's where I learnt a lot of my craft. I would also go along and play in these orchestras at GMS and God, I was terrible. Absolutely atrocious playing some of the stuff that I've done in the past. But that's where I learnt, and I got to play with people who were better than me, which was kick-ass. I get to look at how they would approach something and go, "Oh, yeah, I should have practiced like that, or I should have done this." And that's how you learn, is you get into a room with people who are better than you, and don't take your ego with you. I did take my ego with me, but I think I'm slowly shedding that as I rapidly approach 40. Yeah. Leave your ego at home and go into a room with people who are more talented than you are. Yeah, it's the best way to learn.
I'm in that situation at the moment.
You're in this room right now.
In this room currently, right now.
Thanks for acknowledging it.
No, self-awareness is one of my T's.
It's good.
No, I'm playing guitar at the moment.
It took me a second. Yeah. Nice work on.
That's the joke of the day.
Yeah. I'm playing guitar at the moment, and for this girl, she's a country singer and she's great. And the acoustic guitarist who they originally had lined up, he bailed, and the guy who's playing electric guitar said, "You should come play acoustic." I said to him flat out, I was like, "I am not qualified to do that." And Tom was like, "It's 4 chords and a dream." And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to give it a go." And on the weekend, played at the stadium, at Gosford Stadium. It was fucking mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, I fucking am not equipped for this, but it was sick. But it's fucking terrifying being in that room when, everyone's talking about, like, we're going to start on the 1 and then fucking go to the 4 and fucking do this and do that. And I'm like, what key are we in again? Like, I'm using 100% of my brain capacity to play 4 chords. Like, I'm fucking really thinking about it. But
you're also working harder than anyone in that room.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
they can see it too, man.
But not as a diss, but like because I've been that guy so many times. It's great. It's great being in that room with people who are more talented than you. Like, go to jam sessions with really talented musicians, and you have to work really hard to keep up. But that's the best practice, and it's like so much of it stems from not wanting to look like a dickhead.
Yeah, massively.
Like, I want to get away with this, and I've got to work 10 times harder than the people around me to pull it off.
Yeah, I'm definitely playing better guitar though than I was a month ago. Like, it's definitely a steep and aggressive learning curve, but a fucking good one.
Yeah, nice. I'm not sure how much of an equivalence it is, but I'm experiencing the like songwriting version of that, because as we all have, we've written our songs and we we put them out into the world, or sometimes we don't put them out into the world. I exclusively do John Farnham rip-offs.
Yeah.
In terms of what I actually release.
What's the next one?
Yeah, he's taking on your voice.
I'm doing a Two Strong Hearts parody. It's really good.
Two strong teas.
2 strong teas.
Yeah.
3 strong teas. So I'm writing this song cycle at the moment, and it's a really, I guess it's a different thing, but it's the terror of throwing something that you've created out into the world to be judged by the general public, which is a real terrifying thing. As it's like, oh God,
What will they say?
what will they say? Is this crap?
Ask your mum.
Ask your mum.
Yeah.
My mum will lie to me. But what I've been doing a lot is we talk about Amy V. Low key, I think she's one of the most talented songwriters out there at the moment, and I hope she never listens to this because her ego will shoot through the roof if she knew that I'd said that about her. But she's quite inspirational to me because she just puts stuff out. She writes constantly, and she's putting new stuff out and making and touring, and she's what I would call a real touring musician. She's got a moderate fan base. She's not obviously selling out stadiums like Taylor Swift, but she works. Like she is always out there doing house concerts, like just going to strangers' houses and playing her songs, and going on the road and losing money going on the road and semi-making up for it in CD sales, and then discovering that Spotify has just gouged that market so that you can't make any money from the music you create. So you're going in and spending, $5 to $10,000 to make an album, paying everyone. It's really important to her that she pays everyone whenever I've gigged for her. And I've said I'm happy to gig for free, and she's like, "No, I'm paying you."
Nice.
I refuse. She's like, I refuse. I always pay everyone who comes and does things for me. And she works hard. Like I look at my life, and again, I keep bringing up dumb luck. I've got an easy ride. I'm in a really cushy arts job where I put on shows with people with disabilities, and I have no time at all. No time at all to write. But I also get the opportunity to sit down and write things, and have a wife who's really good at securing money so that we can pay people to come and sing those things. And it's really lucky. And then I look at what Amy's doing, and it's just like the amount of respect I have for her to be able to go and do that. So I take a lot of inspiration from her about that voice in my head that's like,
just do it.
Don't, is anyone going to like my songs that I wrote? I put a lot of work into them, guys. Please like them.
Yeah.
And it's like, tell that voice to shut up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she's doing that, and then she has to go out and sell it. Like we've got the art house co-producing this workshop performance. Like I'm lucky.
You said that yourself, didn't you? Oh, and that's the worst part about music is trying to sell it afterwards.
Yeah, I hate that part. I used to play in a band and don't do that anymore, but still write music for other artists and see a song from songwriting through to mastering. But once it leaves mastering, I'm like, I can't do the sell thing. Like I can't do the Instagram
everyone thinks it's free.
The road thing. Yeah, no.
People think music's free now.
Literally.
Spotify has a lot to answer for. Like people think music is free. And there was a beautiful moment this is just me ranting now. There's a beautiful moment in history, and iTunes was wonderful. So music piracy was rife. We had the whole Napster thing. Ask your mum. Had the whole Napster thing. Music piracy was a huge problem.
I believe Lars Ulrich from Metallica had to sell one of his private jets, didn't he?
I know, it was tough. Yeah. It was really tough.
Talk about being in a room where you're the least talented person.
Wow. No comment. But yeah, spot on. But so that was huge. And then iTunes comes along, and it's like, if you make this affordable and accessible for people, they will buy it. People, like music sales.
People were buying ringtones.
People were buying songs as ringtones. Exactly right. Yeah. Like, you artists would be getting extra money. And yes, Apple takes 30%. Not great. It's a pretty steep margin. But at the same time, like, people were buying music. Piracy dropped off because you made it affordable and accessible. Yep. It was cheaper than getting a CD, and you can just have it on your phone or your iPod at the time or what have you. And piracy just disappeared. And now we're living in streaming land. Spotify comes along and, you know, if you have, you know, what is it, like 10,000 people stream one of your songs, you can maybe get a cent.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Yeah. It's like a fucked up amount of streams for a couple of bucks. Yeah.
And it's on one hand, it's the best time to be a musician in the sense that there are all these avenues for promotion.
Or at least for people to hear your music.
For people to hear your music. The internet's huge, obviously. I really think it's going to catch on.
Ask your mum.
Ask your mum.
Ask your mum.
But
we need to get that on a shirt.
Ask your mum. You're welcome for the merch. I'll take my cut of that. But at the same time, it's the worst time to be a musician, because if you're a musician, you're also a professional TikToker. You're also a professional Instagrammer. You're a professional social media manager. You've got to wear all these stupid hats so that anyone will hear your music, and then finally, for the privilege of people listening to you, if you get 10,000 of them, you might earn a cent.
Yep.
Which is disgusting.
It is disgusting.
It's a disgusting state of the industry. Like, and you know, I'm not in that hustle. But again, I look at someone like Amy who is in that hustle, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, why is this wonderful person who, again, and I've said it, is one of the most talented songwriters I think I've met. Her lyrics are incredible. Her chord choices are wonderful, and it's a pleasure to play with her. I actually played on a live album first. She took a risk and recorded a real live album.
Huge. With
no overdubs or trickery, just an actual live album in front of an audience.
That's awesome.
Which is great. And I played on it, and I made a big mistake on it.
Yeah, classic.
I made a really big mistake that's on the record because we didn't overdub it.
Yeah.
I jazzed my way out of it. I just tried to make it seem as intentional as possible. And it's actually quite good. I don't hate it, but it is a mistake. But yeah, so she's like living that hustle and has to put 2 billion posts on social media every day. Otherwise, she'll get knocked out of the algorithm and people won't hear when she's releasing her next album in however long. And it's just endless. And I don't have the answers. I don't have the solution for...
Well, that was my next question. So,
what's the solution?
What's the answers?
I think just if people stop making music, I think that's the key. We just cut music out of life and we all just become drones. Corporate drones.
What did I read today? I read on the Byron Bay bulletin board, just before everybody starts to drum circles again, drumming together and drumming in time are two different things.
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
What's the Byron Bay bulletin board?
Oh, it's just some Facebook page.
Oh, like a Batuta Advocate
it's like
type beat.
Type
yeah,
thing.
all right, gotcha.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my rant on the state of the music industry. I don't have much more to say about that. So, but what's my future? Doing more
theatre,
making more stuff. I really like making stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Whether that's and it's not really me. I've not really been a performer for a long time. I gig, I play for people, but I'm more of a behind-the-scenesy type person. But I really want to write more shows and write more songs and put those out into the world through whatever medium is appropriate for them. That's
Spotify.
Except Spotify. Fuck you, Spotify. Daniel Eck.
Daniel Eck, if you're listening.
Go fuck yourself. If you're listening.
He's probably listening to a podcast about the best drones to buy to destroy countries.
He probably just has AI generate podcasts for him now.
I mean, it's that easy, right?
Yeah, it's that easy. Why are you even talking to me? You could just...
I don't know. Should just speech to text it.
Speech to text it, yeah. I'll give you enough. You can make a little digital print of my voice and just have me say whatever.
Permission?
Well, you've already got enough. I've seen my waveform over on the just the fat cube that is my waveform. So See, I'm sure you've got enough data on me now that you can generate an AI voice and have me say whatever you like. So,
Absolutely.
full
I
permission.
actually think the next 3 episodes are all AI, so we're good.
Great, fantastic.
Yeah, we can knock off.
That's yeah. You can go home. This is great.
Well done.
I know you don't hear. I don't know how to use a console.
I'm not even using the console, so you're right. Console's purely a decorative piece.
Here's the thing, and as somebody who has worked in sound engineering, I can tell you, and I think I can honestly tell you, most of those knobs don't do anything. They're just decorative.
He's lying. Don't listen to him.
You don't actually need need any of them. Sound basically just does itself.
Yep.
You know, you just make noises.
Well, it happens, doesn't it?
That's
Sounds
it. Yeah.
all around us. Yeah.
You don't need a sound engineer to hold a conversation.
No, sound is just wobbly air.
Wobbly
That's all it
air.
is. It's just wobbly air.
It's all an illusion, and we sound engineers just try and tack on as many fake buttons and dials to make it look like we're working really hard.
And needed.
Yeah, and we're needed. We've got to keep a job somehow in this industry.
Fucking
Absolutely. Goodness me. How do you feel about that? About that line of?
No, I completely agree. Yeah.
Years ago, an engineer friend of mine, there was a singer who was a bit obnoxious when it came to sound check, and they were like, I need delay in my wedge.
Okay.
I need reverb, lots of reverb and delay in my wedge, and I need compression. You got to compress it. Now, as a sound engineer, you know compression in a foldback wedge is
Just
not great.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, compression makes loud sounds softer and softer sounds louder as an average. So if you've got feedback, it's going to make the feedback happen better, effectively.
Yeah.
You're giving it more of an opportunity. Anyway, he would constantly be like, no, I need more compression. And he also didn't really know what he was talking about.
Oh.
And a sound engineer friend of mine who was working on a show with him was like, I know what to do here. He'd always go and check the gear as well. And so he had an old compressor that was actually internally bypassed.
Nice.
But still had the flashing lights to show that the sound was going through it.
Yeah.
And so he printed out this beautiful label, which was DFAC. It was the DFAC compressor, DFAC.
Does fuck all.
Does fuck all compressor. It's what that stands for.
Yeah.
You've picked it. And he put it in his rack, and he'd be like, yeah, no, I've put the compression on, and he'd show him, putting the compression up, and he'd come over and check and be like, oh yeah, that's good. But no, so that was the DFAC. And as soon as you told him there was compression on it, he'd be like, oh yeah, great, no, I can hear that. That's really good.
I can definitely hear that.
Yeah, I can hear that. That's making a huge difference. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
But no, so it was the DFAC.
People asking for more in the foldback always annoyed me for some reason. You just you go see a band sometimes, and there's always one guy going, "I need a bit more in the foldback." You're like, "No, you don't. Just fucking play."
Yeah, but they might. I've been that guy before.
They probably can't fucking hear themselves.
It's less what I do find as a musician on stage. I don't mind if I can't hear myself as much. For keyboard stuff, I do mind because I need to hear what the keyboards do if I don't have my own amp or something. But I kind of think it's my job to hear myself. But if I can't hear the people that I need to hear to get cues off or that I'm playing with, I want to hear what they're playing.
Let's be fair, I've never played a venue good enough to have fallback in it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I and everyone's different, but it's there's a lot of singers who are like, I need to hear myself really loudly, and I'm like, but can't you always hear yourself?
Yeah. I get that in the studio as well. We've got there's one just there. We've got those little hearback systems, like personal mixers. And when I get to vocals with an artist, I just break it down so they just have, their vocal and like the track, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they always are like, oh, I can't hear the track. And I'm like, oh, okay, give me a second. Let me have a listen. I go and put their headphones on, look at the mixer, and their vocal is just fucking dimed in the headphones.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah. And it also makes them so pitchy.
Yeah.
Like they can't fucking, it's classic.
Yeah.
Singers are the worst. Maybe bassists are the worst, and then singers are the worst.
Maybe. Maybe.
So, we've had a nice little
It's been really wonderful.
chat today about
It's
where you come
delightful.
from
Delightful conversation. I've yammered on as much as I can.
and where you're going. And I've had a great time. Thanks for coming.
I've had a really great time. It's been lovely to talk at people. Are the monitors off?
The monitors are off.
That's all right.
No, as in the visual.
Oh, my monitor behind me is off. Yeah.
I can't see my chunky waveform anymore. Sorry for that tangent. You're about to.
That's right. I was gonna wrap this up. Not that I don't want to sit here and talk to you forever, but I think we've just had a great conversation, and it's been awesome to learn about what you do in the industry and how you approach it. It's been amazing. But one thing I always like to do before we finish up is to ask you to recommend me a song to listen to, and also for the listeners at home. Now it can be anything at all. Andrew, it can be a song you've written, a song you like listening to, a song from Rent, so that Owen...
Can't be a song from Rent.
It's definitely not going to be a song from Rent. Song recommendation. So there's a wonderful band. They're an instrumental band, but I'm not going to recommend an instrumental one. They're a band called Snarky Puppy, which you may have heard of. Does anyone know Snarky Puppy?
Yeah.
They're phenomenal, and they're a jazz instrumental band led by a guy called Michael League, and it's just the most talented musicians in the world getting together and having a jam session. That's all of their things, all of their albums, except for one, I think, or maybe a couple, are recorded live. There's a live audience who all get a pair of headphones and they listen in, and they're beautifully recorded. Anyway, they've got a series called their Family Dinner Series, which is where they get other performers in, and Snarky Puppy will do a version of your song with you.
Okay, cool.
And there is a song, and I'm trying to remember exactly what the song's called, that I really like. And I don't even think it's the best song on the album, but it's the one that's popping to mind. And it's a song on Snarky Puppy's Family Dinner Volume 1, and it's called Gone Under.
Sick.
And it's really good. There's a just kick-ass vocalist singing over one of the tightest rhythm and horn sections you've ever heard in your life.
Awesome. Who's the vocalist? Because I imagine it's their original song.
I could be making this name up, but I think her name is Shayna Shaw.
Cool.
That could be a made-up name. I think it is Shayna, but I might be making up the last name. So please don't take my word on that.
We're going to find it, and Owen's going to put a little snippet in at the end of the podcast.
Hell yeah!
Wrap it up. So
play the bit with the drums at the end, or whichever bit you choose.
It'll be the bit with the drums.
I don't want to dictate what you can do.
It'll be the bit with the drums.
It's the good bit. It's really good. It's a good track. Just really tight. I like it when musicians are good and they play songs at me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I really like it.
Awesome.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Owen.
Pleasure.
Lovely
Thanks so
headphones.
much. Yep. My headphones are by Audio Technica.
Oh,
Are they real? Are they real Audio Technicas?
Yeah, these are the real deals.
Man, I'm jealous. They should really.
These are 50s, baby.
Hey, Audio Technica, if you're listening, this podcast is great, and you should.
And we love you.
You should sponsor this podcast.
Why not?
Why not? Audio Technica. Reach out.
Thanks, Andrew.
Bye.